Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Sitting to my left, your right, is Kelly, my wife. You've heard me talk about her many, many times, I think, and probably so a few of you who have seen her before. She popped in on a couple, just a little bitty, a long time ago. She's not one that puts herself out there too much, but actually, things have gotten to the point that they are getting so serious. She's going to be joining us here every now and then. Not all the time, but every now and then on some things as we go forward. That's a term I hate, going forward, but from here on out, she'll be joining us. She's one of the, not to embarrass her or drum up how great my wife is. Everybody's wife is great. But she's one of the smartest people I know. She is one of those whose opinion I seek and respect above almost any other. Many of you know that I waited until I was 49 years old to get married. I'm pretty hard to please. But I found one that finally I found the one I want, and that's why. Uh, she's got a mind, a brain that complements mine, and so I think that you'll enjoy hearing from her and get something out of it. We're out here. I guess before we get into this, uh, I'm drinking. Oh no, I didn't mean that. I'm taking a different medicine
He's
tonight.
drinking.
I'm taking a different medicine tonight, as in response to one of our commenters and viewers who recommended. I told him I mentioned that I didn't like Guinness. I like stout, but I like Murphy's stout, which you can't get here in the States apparently. And then I said that Guinness is just too bitter, and so they suggested a Guinness with I don't have my glasses on, so it's something about it's nitrogenated or something, um, and to make it smoother. Well, I don't know if it makes it smoother or not, but it's not quite as bitter, and it's got just a little bit of a coffee and a chocolate taste in there. It's not bad at all. Even she didn't mind it too much, and she likes the sweet drinks. What are you drinking there, sweet?
Seagram's Escapes. Peach Bellini. I do like the sissy drinks.
Yeah, that's all right. And that's she likes the peach stuff. And man, they charge so much for those peach drinks when we go out. It's nice to have, when you buy them by the 4 pack here. I did see I was down. We'll get to the important stuff here in a minute. Don't worry about that. And by the way, she is not taller than I am. She just has great posture and likes to sit up straight. That's right. It's one of the things that I first noticed about her. I said, "Wow, look at that woman. She's got great posture." Uh, but I slouch, and I like to relax. I'm a laid back guy. She's not quite as laid back as I. She's up straight. So I'm not married to an Amazon. She's quite a bit shorter than I am. So to pick up where I left off, so many of you have given me so many good suggestions on an alternative to my PBR medication that I'm going to start trying those out. I might have to find a way to write it off, I think. Maybe I'll start doing reviews on them. I don't know. But I saw one that was particularly intriguing, I should say. I don't know if interesting is the right way. It was it was made by a brewery right around here, and it's by a Martin City brewery, I think. And it's called Yoga Pants. And I stood there looking at that, thinking for a minute whether I should buy it as a gift for a friend of mine. But no, I didn't. I may buy it for her sometime, and we'll see how it is. Anyway,
I'll let you know.
okay, we'll get to the important stuff now. Things are getting real, aren't they? And as I think I'm going to put in the question on this, or put in the title of this, things are getting real. Are you? Are you real? Are you getting real? Um, we talk and have talked for quite a while, for the last year and a half, about the current situation. And those who have been involved in the preparedness community have talked for many more years before that about potential problems. You know, catastrophe or emergencies or whatever. Everybody has their favorite of that. Uh, and like I said in yesterday's video, uh, to a certain extent, it was just a mind game. You know, we kept ourselves sharp. We did prepare. Many of us have foreseen, an eventual situation in which we would have to be prepared. But for many, it really has been a mind game, kind of something fun to talk about, a fun hobby, something to do. Um, but I think that the speed with which this new situation has come at us has surprised many, and taken many people, kind of off guard. They haven't been ready for it, and they don't really have their mind around it. Kelly and I were talking quite a bit today, um, and with our kids, we've got one at camp. The other two are with us today, and maybe I'll tell you about a little exercise that we did with them earlier today. I think it's a great exercise. Mm-hmm. Would you like to tell them about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. She's such a blabbermouth. uh, I will. We explained to them. We sat them down and we explained how quickly things are changing, and the potential challenges that lie ahead. Now, if you're new to my channel, I want to explain that I talk fairly cryptically. I don't say things in, I had some new person, I think, why don't you just say it? Because, as I've explained in other um, videos, particularly over on Patreon, because that's where I put the, shall we say, more interesting stuff, there's no reason to just blurt things out that will bring incoming onto you and potential problems when an intelligent audience, which mine is. I often say that I have the smartest commenters on YouTube. An intelligent audience will understand what I'm saying without me saying the words, and if you can't, you're really not going to understand. You're not going to do anything about it anyway. So I do speak fairly cryptically. Smart people get it. So as I was saying, things have come fairly quickly, and there are many people who, having said in the past, well, I'm just not going to, fill in the blank. There are a number of things that people just aren't going to do, right? And they say it with great bravado and great assurance, and makes them feel good that they can look all smart and tough and resistant, in the safety of nothing happening. Well, we have a situation now that things are happening. And so we sat down with the two kids who are here today, and we explained a lot about what is happening, and the challenges that it poses. And we got sharp kids, so they picked up on it pretty quick. One of the things that is our concern is that Kelly works at a hospital. I've never mentioned that before. Now, she works part-time, but she works at a hospital. And if you saw mine yesterday, I saw, and you might have seen yourself, how many of the healthcare groups have started requiring certain medical procedure for their employees in order to stay employed. The first was, I think, was Houston Methodist, and then Mercy out of Springfield, down in Springfield, Missouri. Then Truman Medical Center here in Kansas City, Missouri, associated with the University of Missouri Medical School. And then yesterday also, I forgot to mention this, the VA has announced that nationwide all of their employees will have to accept that medical procedure in order to retain their employment. Now, ever since I put that up yesterday, I've just gotten a slew of comments. They've been great comments, and I appreciate the information. And I'm sure the readers of the comments do too, of different places. And so read the comments of yesterday's video. What did I call yesterday's video? I don't know.
Forgot.
That's
Sorry.
all right. That's okay. I don't remember myself. Just whatever the date was before this date. That would be yesterday. So that they have commented a lot and given us a lot of information on many, many other medical and hospital systems that are now requiring that thing that a lot of people just don't want. And so it's putting a lot of people in a bind. Also over on Patreon, again, you get a lot more information on different things, kind of the inside stuff over on Patreon. If you're interested, I always put the link down below. So we were explaining to the kids. I said, this might be coming up, that the health system with which Kelly is associated may require that very soon, and at which time it will. It's not something that we're interested in doing, and so she might lose her employment. So what do we do now? To be honest, and I'm not acting like we're going to be unduly impacted. We're not. As I said, she just works a couple of days a week, but it's also something that we see. And as I said yesterday, we have a lot of friends in the healthcare industry, and it's going to impact them brutally. So we were concerned for them. So anyway, back to what we do. So we sat down the kids and we said, now is a good time. Sometimes you have to kind of be knocked off your comfort horse to do what you should do. Sometimes God does that. For any of you others who are believers, and I know most of you are, and for any who aren't, I'm not excluding you. This isn't a religious channel here, but sometimes we get so comfortable, and God says, "Hey, you need to be doing more with your life, and I'm going to take this thing away from you and get you back on the path that I want you to go." That's happened to me a number of times. I get lazy, and I get doing one thing, and I enjoy it, and sometimes I need a kick in the rear to take it to the next level. So we kind of explaining that to our kids. And as we did, we explained that, and this is kind of the message out here to you all. As I usually say, whatever you're doing preparedness-wise, you need to kick it up 10 notches. 10 notches. And so we explained how important to our kids, how important it is to not rely or be reliant on all of those interdependent systems around over which you have little or no influence or control. Okay, the food delivery system, the healthcare delivery system. There are many ways to address illness and maintain wellness that has nothing to do with a doctor. She's very good at it. She kind of keeps on top of me, and she's always telling me, the different things that I should be doing for different things. That's the extent of my knowledge. You'll notice I didn't go any farther than that. And usually after kind of being bullheaded, I finally come around and do what she has suggested. And darn if it doesn't work. So increasing your knowledge of natural health care and wellness, I think, is very important, don't you?
Very.
I might get her on here to talk a little bit about that. Now, I have talked way too much, and so how about, you want to tell them about what we had the kids do today?
Sure.
Okay.
So we gave two of our kids, 14 and 10, $100 to go buy groceries. Groceries that they can store, and groceries that won't expire for a long time. Groceries to stock up on, just to have on hand, just in case. Just in case groceries. Jig groceries. And so we went to two different stores, and they loved it. They worked together. They spent so much time figuring out how many boxes of this we can get, how many boxes of that, and they just did an amazing job picking out what would last you know, how many bars are in this, and the price, and so you can
They
take it
did,
from there.
and we told them they were going to two different grocery stores, and so they decided, which is you got $100. We're going to two different grocery stores because one of them has certain things on sale, and the other one is an Aldi, which we love Aldi. If you got an
Cheap.
Aldi, you've got the best preparedness grocery store in the world right around you. So they figured out, and they said, okay, we're going to spend 50 at each, and we said because we're prepared um, with sustaining food. Okay? And I don't mean that bucketed survival food that I can't stand. Nobody will
Rice and
eat.
cheese and broccoli.
Yeah. That's kind of an inside joke that we won't say exactly what it is, but that's exactly right. But we have food that will keep you alive and sustain you very well. And now I said, okay, for kids, uh, you go ahead and start finding all first that, but then also fun stuff, what you want to eat, and they enjoyed that very much.
And they bought so much stuff, and they actually got tired shopping, and they came home with $11 to spare.
And when they looked at their cart, they couldn't believe because kids. I mean, they're always like, "Can we get this? Can we get?" And so would reel them back in and say, "Well, wait a minute. How long does that keep? Is that good food or is that just fluff? What's the difference between what you want and what you need, and the difference between intentional shopping or intentional buying, and whimsical buying?" And when they got that in their head and they started really going over each item, when they got done, they couldn't believe how much food they had bought for their less than $100. They stayed under budget and they couldn't believe it. It took them 10, 11 sacks full of stuff they had to carry in.
Yeah, I think they probably got enough food for them to eat for a month. They did really, really well. Very thoughtful.
Now I'm gonna turn this over a little bit to her. We haven't practiced this at all. I didn't tell her what I was going to do here. I'd like to turn it over to you if I could, and ask you to just kind of tell, because we have a lot of people in the audience, and Kelly loves reading. By the way, she loves reading your comments. She enjoys them. She can identify many of you by your handles, your names, and she will talk about your comments. And she is an integral part of this, even of you all, even though you haven't known that. So, can I turn it over to you and ask you to share with them? And I'm going to back up just a second, because many of them have spouses that may not be on board, right? And many times it's the man, many times it's the woman. I'd say it's pretty much equal.
I'd say.
Could I ask you kind of what your thoughts are? What brought you to the feeling that we now have today, as opposed to even a year ago? That's a big subject, but I give you plenty of room to run.
That is a big subject. I think just the fastness of how fast things are moving in one direction. The demands that they want us to do, and the things that we can't do, can't say. You have to do this. You have to say that. I don't really know how to answer this. It's getting kind of creepy, crazy. Lots of red flags if you pay attention. I think you have to be living under a rock to not notice any craziness, any of the weird stuff happening out there, the odd things that we are expected to take, do, not do.
I'll tell you right out.
I hate being put on the spot.
She does, but she knows more about this stuff than I do. Okay, I don't keep track on a daily basis for the most part. I ask her. I said, "What's going on today? What's the latest today?" She tells me the latest is going on worldwide, political.
I'm a digger.
She is, man. You give her something to do, and she doesn't stop. Uh, Political, medical, whatever it is, and she will not only find out to a deep level, she'll remember it. I think I mentioned this. I don't. I don't think that way. I know that the whole world is going to pot, so I don't really care about the particulars. I'm ready for it, and but I still try to keep up on a fairly daily basis on the macro, on the major things. She is the one that could sit here if you were sitting with us, and she could talk for 4 hours about every particular thing, things that you have probably, well, maybe not. You all are very, very smart, but things that I've forgotten.
I kind of have a compulsive mind, so if I find one thing out, then I want to find what led to that, and then what led to that, and then what led to that.
That's right.
And then I'm
Yeah.
reading for hours,
Yeah.
trying to put everything together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's she, like most babies, start off, or young kids start out saying why she never stopped. You know? Why not? Well, why?
Or
well,
what
why
if?
not? What if?
What
What do you
if?
mean by that?
I have the what if syndrome.
She
I've
does.
been accused of numerous times.
That's right. Well, one of the things that we're doing, and we're trying to explain to people, first off, things are real, and they have to be real. Because where I think a lot of people get caught up is, like I was saying earlier, they'll say, well, I'm just not going to do that. It doesn't matter what it is. But if you ask them, well, okay, what does that mean? Well, I'm just not going to do that. Well, okay, what if they come and make you do it? Well, they can't make me do that. Well, yeah, they can. Either you don't get out much, or you haven't read much history, or whatever. Yeah, they can. There are ways they can make you do pretty much anything if you're not ready for it. Now, there are a couple of groups that I've talked about. I talk about over on Patreon, so I'm not going to get it in now, who have specialized in living under oppression, and they've done very well. But the average person who just gets their back up and says, well, I'm not going to do that. They can't make me do that, or that's illegal, and they can't make me do X or Y. If you don't have a plan to deal with that, you're not going to be able to deal with it. And people have this tendency to think they can, because pretty much they've been able to all of their life up to this point, because most people have never really come up against serious trouble. Even those who think they haven't. And so, they've been able to, with just kind of a strong, I'm not going to do, you can't make me do that. And most times they've broken down. Hey, here's our nightly siren, our suburban siren. A gift from us to our country friends out there who may not get to hear sirens very often. I'll pause this for just a second because it's getting close enough. My dog's about to start howling. Be right back. Okay, that was our nightly siren. Wasn't that exciting? So, like I was saying, too many people have been able to just kind of bluff and buffalo their way through on things and saying, I'm not going to do that. This isn't one of those situations. You're not going to be able to do that with this. That's why I said you need to start preparing a lot more than you have before. And that also means increasing your ability to make money outside the system. Now, one thing that we are upping here, and we had a little family meeting about this today, is that Kelly makes custom soaps. Now, Kelly and I have worked together for, ever since we've known each other just about. And we have worked together when we worked for other people. We have owned businesses together. We have essentially spent all of our time, our working time together. And somebody once said to her, I said, man, don't you get sick? Don't you get tired of being together all the time? And she told them, you want to tell them what you said?
Go ahead.
Yeah, see? She says, we could have fun digging ditches together. And that's the truth. That is the truth.
I think we have before.
Have
Small
we?
ditches in the yard.
Yes, we have. We've dug a few small ditches. But now it's time that we are going to be, because we're thinking about a move. As I mentioned the other day, you might have seen the video where we were looking at some property. We're going to be looking at a move in the not too distant future, and building up a couple of businesses that we already have. Um, I know I need to write more, and I promise I'm going to. I've been off. I've been so busy doing other things. I just haven't been able to write, and I think I'm about 80% done with the fifth book, so it's coming out within the next month or two. Okay, we'll see, and then I'll get right back on the sixth one. And I have another series that I'm going to start too, kind of about this stuff that's going on. Um, but Kelly makes candles. That's one of her business. She's had several businesses too. And I'm sorry, soap. She did make candles, but she makes soap. She she makes the most amazing soaps I've ever seen. I'm not kidding. They're the most beautiful I've ever seen. Up until this time, she's just, she does shows and crafts fairs and things like that. She always sells out. Now she's got people calling her at home and asking, for orders and things, and it's just amazing. I'm not going to bring them on here, but I've even asked. So she is now going to be building that company, and we've assigned our 14-year-old to put together the websites for it and everything like that and get it all lined up. And so we're going to be building that. I've even asked her to make a Stonemont line for any of you people who are kind of new to the channel. If you don't know what that means, Stonemont is the series, the Stonemont series of the books that I wrote. And I always put, if you're interested, I always put the links right down here. So that's the major thing of bringing the family together and letting everybody know that they're an integral part of family preparedness, family strength, the future of the family. And as families are stronger, they're able to help people outside the family, and that's how you build a large community. That was essentially the story of my books. Um, so we're going to be working on, and like I said, I've asked her to do a Stonemont line, and any of you guys who are interested in that, we've already picked out the scents and the colors and everything like that. Now, businesses don't get built in a hurry, so I'm sure.
Especially by me.
Well, she's a
I'm a
thinker.
procrastinator.
She sometimes finds herself, you know, analysis paralysis. Trying to think of too many things, but it always comes out great. And even though I get a little irritated, I won't say irritated. I just go, "Come on! I mean, that was great." She keeps at it and keeps at it, and in the end, I go, "Yeah, that was worth the wait." So maybe we'll have some ready for Christmas. I don't know. If we do, we'll
I
get.
will.
You will. Okay.
Yes.
She has a big show that she has to get ready for in just a couple of months, and
What is Christmas? 125 days away?
I don't know.
It's almost here.
Is it? Yeah, that's right. For us who have a Christmas business, right? I mean, we're always thinking about that. So if we get that Stonemont line up in time for Christmas or whenever, of course, you all will get a discount, and we'll figure that out. But it's just gorgeous stuff, and so that's what Many times, problems, and I've said this before. Problems bring opportunities. Problems are only long-term problems for people who see them as problems. If you look for it, find, and then concentrate on the solution, the problem was just a catalyst towards the next great chapter of your life. And we have a great life as it is, I have to admit. But man, if this is going to kick us into something new, I'm looking forward to it. And I hope that it's kicking you all into something new and better as well. So I think I'm about to wind down here. Is there anything else that you'd like to say? Any advice, tidbits,
No,
thoughts?
no, just research. Be a digger. You learn a lot when you're a digger. If something doesn't seem right, it's because it's not.
And don't give up, right?
Yeah. And I'm sorry if you can't hear me. I talk quiet. Trying to talk loud, but
Because she sits up straight. Right? Well, I'm going to wind down from them and just encourage you all to start prepping even faster, even harder, even stronger. Try to encourage your friends to do so. We have
and children.
and children. That's right. We have a major situation coming up on us to deal with here really quick. And how we come out of this is going to be determined by how strong we are and how determined we are and how smart we are and how hard we work and how much faith we have and rely on the guidance of God. So with that, I'll just remind you that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. That's right. And we all want to live well tomorrow. And matter of fact, we intend to live better tomorrow than we are today, and I hope you do too. So you all have a good night, and we will both see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.